Today we're diving into a really powerful and maybe even controversial perspective on parenting and academic failure. It's all based on a lecture by a speaker named Young Bub, and trust me, it might just change how you see a report card forever.
So let's start with a scenario I think a lot of parents dread. The exam results are in, and they're not good. You get that sinking feeling in your stomach, and your mind just races with one question. Why? What happened here? For most of us, the instinct is to look right at the child.
And just like that, all the focus narrows in on the student. Their effort, their study habits, what they did wrong. It's this natural search for a simple cause, and we just assume the problem starts and ends with them.
But what if that immediate reaction, as natural as it feels, is actually missing the bigger picture? The lecture we're breaking down today argues that confronting the child isn't just unhelpful, it's the absolute wrong place to even start looking for an answer.
This right here, this is a huge shift in thinking. The argument is that a bad grade isn't about pointing fingers. It's a signal. It's a moment for us, the adults, to look in the mirror. Think of it like a symptom, not the actual disease.
Okay, so if it's not all on the child, then where does the responsibility actually lie? Well, this lecture introduces a fascinating concept it calls a law of nature, a kind of formula for how success and failure really work.
And that's really the million-dollar question, isn't it? According to this perspective, the answer isn't one person. It's the entire ecosystem that the child lives in.
So check this out. According to this law, here's how it breaks down. The parent, you're on the hook for 30% of the conditions that lead to success. Society, we're talking schools, culture, the whole environment, that's another 30%. And the child's own direct effort, that's the final 40%.
So what does that really mean? It means when a child stumbles, it's not just their failure, it's a sign that every single part of this system has dropped the ball a little bit. The parent, society, and the child, everyone has a stake in it, and so everyone feels the sting when it goes wrong.
All right, now we get to what might be the most provocative part of this whole argument. It takes a really sharp look at highly educated parents and asks a very uncomfortable question about whether they're fulfilling their true duty. The lecture paints this very specific picture. It talks about a generation, especially women, who are among the first to get elite university degrees. And this wasn't just seen as a personal win, it was a massive societal investment, paid for, as the speaker dramatically puts it, by the people's blood and sweat. And boom. There it is, the core tension laid bare. On one side, you have this huge public investment that came with the expectation of public returns, leadership, innovation, solving big problems. And on the other side, the result often became intensely private, becoming a hyper-efficient manager of one's own family. This is the question that just lands like a punch to the gut. It's absolutely meant to be provocative. It's highlighting what the speaker sees as a fundamental misapplication of talent and a squandering of that original societal investment. Now, to be super clear, this isn't an attack on parenting. It's not saying it's unimportant. It's a reframing of duty. The idea is that by focusing all that incredible talent and education only on the home, these individuals unintentionally weakened the very society their own children have to grow up and succeed in. So, if micromanaging your kid's homework schedule isn't the answer, then what is? The lecture points to a different force, something much more subtle, but way more powerful.
And it's called the law of influence. The idea here is pretty profound. It says that kids don't really become what you tell them to be, they become who you are and who you surround them with. It's all about the environment they soak up, not the instructions they're given. And the examples are really practical. A professor's child is more likely to become a professor. Why? Not because of intense tutoring, but because their home is just filled with the energy of academics. They absorb that way of thinking. And this works for everything. The people in a child's life carve out their future path.
So the crucial point is this. A parent's most important job isn't to manage their child, but to be the curator of their child's world. Who do you bring into your home? Whose energy, whose ideas does your child get to absorb? That's what really shapes who they become.
Okay, so all of this builds to a final, really actionable conclusion. It completely reframes a parent's mission from being a manager to being an inspiration.
The logic here is so simple and powerful, it's almost brutal. If your entire world revolves around your child, then their world is naturally going to revolve around themselves. But if your world revolves around a bigger purpose, something you contribute to society, your child learns that life is about way more than just me. So here's the new mission. The best way to help your child succeed is actually indirect. It starts with you. Go out and re-engage with your own purpose. Use your skills, contribute. Because when you do that, you naturally fill your life and your home with other inspiring, purpose-driven people. And that is the environment your child needs. Your success becomes their best lesson.
This just completely flips the script. A bad test score is no longer about your kid making a mistake. It's a wake-up call for the parent. It's a sign that the ecosystem is off balance, and the very first place you should look is in the mirror and ask, am I living up to my potential?
And that leaves us with one heck of a question to chew on, right? It suggests that maybe the greatest gift you can give your child isn't your constant attention, but the powerful example of a life lived with purpose. That to truly help them succeed, maybe you first need to focus on being the person you were always meant to be.